Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
Hey, the Muffin here. I have another subscriber request. Once again, I promise I'm going through the list trying to execute. This one was a little unique on aiming, tips and tricks with that, some difficulty with it, and that can be a little bit of a tricky one. And really, to answer your question, within the settings, the only thing that really comes down to it for ease of aiming and firing to hit an enemy is the auto aim, which honestly can end up causing you problems sometimes, or it could be a benefit to you sometimes. And I'll just give you a couple examples of that. So when you're in third person and you're driving around and you just want to be able to shoot targets just out of that cool feeling of just shooting some other tanks in that third person view, the auto aim is helpful because what it does is it'll lock onto the center point, or kind of like within that area or range of where you're aiming at, and then it'll fire and then hit that target of whatever it somewhat kind of locks onto, without knowing distinctly, like the zoomed in, more detailed armor profile penetrating or non-penetrating abilities. The problem with it is that if you're being face hugged by another enemy and you're trying to aim over and destroy a weaker enemy from maybe flanking or getting from around you, that auto aimer is going to cause you some pain because it's going to keep trying to fixate itself on the target ahead of you, and you're going to end up not only fighting the enemies that are around you, but you're also going to be fighting with your own controls, and you definitely don't want that. Now, they do have the arcade mode where you can turn on the auto aim and turn it off, which is nice. It's also nice to have that off and just have that flexibility, which helps. But I'll kind of go into some tips on how to fire at fast-moving targets, because I think a lot of this does come down to when you encounter other light, medium tanks, and they're just zipping around the map. And sometimes those can be really frustrating. And unfortunately, from what I know, let me know in the comments below if you guys know another setting that I don't. But there's not like an automatic setting that you can turn on where the game will automatically judge for you based on the speed of the tank, the distance, your shell velocity, and then fire and hit the target. I just don't think that setting is in the game. So in order to do that, what I'll do is when I see a light tank flying by really quick, there's a couple things that I'll do. First, I'll fixate my aimer on, and I won't try to do it from a third person point of view. If he's going across my screen, if he's going away from me, it's obviously much easier. But if he's going across, I'll go into my first person view and I will fixate my aimer on him. And then before I fire, depending on how fast he is going, I will put my aimer a little bit ahead of where he is currently positioned while flying across the field. Because if I was to be fixated directly on him while he's flying fast and pull the trigger, then by the time my shell reaches that spot that I had my aimer on, the tank is already like 10, 20 feet or whatever ahead, depending on how fast the tank is going. So you kind of have to understand, I know it's kind of like that meme where like those calculations are flying all over the person's head while they're trying to figure it out. But you get your aimer on it, and you have to plan a little ahead and try to judge based upon, okay, when I fire, I want my shell to go here at the time of when the tank gets there to intersect and then hit them. You can't just directly fire straight at the target. So hopefully this helps. That's probably the best way that I can explain it and the way that it's in Blitz right now. Once again, let me know in the comments below any other tips for other viewers that are watching this video and going through and reading the comments and what you guys have to say. You guys are all definitely a part of this channel. Definitely want this to be a collaborative and helpful thing, but this is my thoughts on that. Hopefully this helps answer your question. This is the Muffin here. You stay cool and keep tanking.